What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Realtor Chris here, and I'm back with another video. This is me reading and answering your Reddit questions. As always, if you have questions, you can always go to the Reddit thread Real Estate, or you can actually just send me a DM or send me a text with your questions. Okay, I'm a little bit under the weather today, so it might sound crazy, but we're gonna get this done. Okay. The first question I have is, my agent is non-responsive. Okay. It says, I'm a buyer. She advised what to offer. The offer was accepted. Good job. So far, she's gotten what needs to be done when it needs to be done. People don't know how to write. So far, she's gotten what needs to be done when it needs to be done. I'm guessing that means that she's good at, getting information in. She's good at getting what documents are needed and stuff like that. Yesterday I came to town where the house is that evening before the morning of the home inspection. I called and texted her I'd arrive in town and to ask her to touch base with me regarding the inspection in the morning. This morning, to an hour before the inspection, I called and texted her again. She texted back that she'd meet me there at a certain time. She didn't acknowledge. I don't care. This is basically what's happening is that she's saying that her realtor is non-responsive, and this is a pretty common problem right now with realtors. Is that our jobs were so easy, and I'm saying it as a realtor, not as a person, because y'all don't know what we do. Okay, so our jobs used to be easier, in which houses would sell a lot faster, so we wouldn't have to do more in-depth work. We wouldn't have to do markets every week. We wouldn't have to look at pricing strategies. We wouldn't have to think of new ways out of the box in order to get houses sold, so they would sell a lot easier. Nowadays, houses are sitting on, for 40 plus days, and a lot of times realtors are not used to doing a lot of work, so they don't do it. Not to say that they shouldn't be doing it, just they're not used to doing it. So a lot of times what will happen is, you won't hear from your realtor maybe once or twice a week. I mean, is it that they're bad realtors? Not necessarily. It's just sometimes that's what people are used to doing. And if you don't set that expectation for your realtor, then they probably don't know that they have to communicate with you more. I mean, it sounds like common sense, but it's not always common. So what I like to do for all my clients is we always go through a document. It's a playbook. Their dates are on there. The exact times we'll talk. I try and put more of the responsibility on the client rather than on myself, because if it was up to me, I'd call you every day and tell you what I had for breakfast. So just make sure, if you don't like what the realtor's doing, make sure you tell them that. I'm not in for people losing their jobs, but a lot of times people don't know. So reach out to your realtor and tell them that you expect more. If they don't give you more, then fire them and get another realtor. This one says, advice on a home with an old roof. Hi all, feeling like I may have made a mistake in this crazy circumstance of buying a house. Buying a house is never a crazy circumstance. I don't know why people act like they just bought a fake diamond. For real? Buying a house is a good thing. It's never a bad thing. If you can afford it and your lender has already qualified you to afford it, why is it a bad thing? Why do people make it sound like a bad thing? That's stupid. I just put an offer on a house upstate New York, and it's always in these expensive places. I know Colorado's expensive, but most of these Reddit threads are from people in California and New York. It's crazy. Upstate New York that has 20-year-old roof. Disclose on a mandatory disclosure form required by NY law. The roof looked okay to me. The life of a roof is usually 20 to 25 years. Let's see. I'm going to skip down to the bottom. I'm kind of panicking. The seller has not accepted it yet, and I'm wondering if I should call my agent and just withdraw my offer now before I sunk in the cost of an inspection and real estate attorney only to have to walk away. So my advice on this one, you have to know the risk of going into a situation. I'm not in New York City. I know New York City has attorneys, and the process is a lot longer. I always say that somebody messed it up for somebody down the line. Okay, there's always somebody who messes it up for everybody. So as far as it goes with the roof, right? We do a roof inspection. Most people have homeowners insurance, so they just get a new roof. If your roof is that old and you don't have the money to fix the roof, that might mean you have to lower your price on the house by a lot too. So just keep that in mind. I mean, is it worth the price of the house? I mean, if they got a 20-year-old roof, the price of the house better reflect the 20-year-old roof. If it's in line with the 1-year-old roof or like a house that's nicer, then that doesn't make any sense. So if you're asking me, you have to look at the cost of the house, look at the cost of the repairs, and go from there. If you love the house and the house is in a good price range, then you might be able to, look past the roof and get it fixed on your own. Or if the house is not worth it, you ask for a concession or you ask for them to pay for the roof with their homeowner's insurance if it's like a hail damage or something like that. So all this stuff is negotiable. And then plus you're telling me that in this thing they're saying that they didn't accept your offer yet. The only people that are moving right now are people that have to move. So these people might not have to move. They might be looking for the deal of a lifetime, which will never come. It might, but it never will come. So I hope that helps. I know I'm rambling a little bit. All right, everybody, last but not least, I have one right here that says, are these repairs reasonable? Probably not. In this market, I'm joking, probably they are. I don't think there's anything as far as an unreasonable repair in this market. We had an offer fall through after a guy wanted $34,000 worth of electrical work. Wanted all outlets grounded. We have a new offer that seems much more reasonable, but we are broke just after replacing the furnace that went out in between offers. Here are the requests. Does anybody have any suggestions? Blah, 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 blah. Roofer to inspect roof leaks, ball in the attic, just for... Okay. So you're asking me about repairs and when an inspection comes, right? So whenever we start off in a transaction, right, we tell our clients, do you guys know of anything, material defects or anything that is wrong with the property, right? Has it ever flooded before? Does the furnace work? Does the microwave work? Do you know any of these things that are wrong with the house? You have to write those down in the seller's property disclosure in Colorado. So that's just a sheet that says, these are the things that I know that are wrong with the house. Please don't sue me, okay? Now, when it comes to inspections, every realtor should or does notify their client that there's going to be inspection coming through. Like there might be some things on the inspection. It is a negotiation between the two parties. Now, with reading this article here, it says that there's a whole bunch of ticky-tacky stuff on here. It depends on what the client wants to do. We go to the client, we say, hey, this is all the things that are inspections. What do you want to do? Sometimes you'll get a client that says, I don't want to do any of that stuff. Sometimes you get a client that will fix all this stuff on their own, or they'll have, they'll repair it on their own and pay for it. Sometimes we just offer them $1,500 and tell them to go kick rocks. Not to be mean, but I mean, this stuff right here, it seems very, very ticky-tacky. And a lot of it, new smoke detectors to be installed prior to closing. A lot of realtors will also throw a lot of stuff on a inspection objection just to see what you'll fix. But it's also a negotiation, I said, between the two parties. A lot of times we'll call up the other realtor and be like, yo, dog, like, what's important to them? Because you throw on a whole bunch of stuff on here, like, I don't know if we're going to fix all this stuff. Also, it also goes back to what is the price of the house originally listed for? Did you price the house based off of all this stuff, knowing that you guys had a previous inspection? If you did, then you might not have to fix nothing. You might be in a good spot where if they don't want the house, then somebody else will. So throughout a real estate transaction, you guys have to remember, it is all negotiation, okay? Nothing is set in stone, and nothing is so dire that you have to go and cry in a corner, per se. So remember, everything is a negotiation, and price the house accordingly. Then you won't have to run into these problems. But as far as this goes, if it was me and I was the realtor, I would say, depending on how much, if we've given them a concession or anything, I would probably give them $2,000. That would cover most of this stuff. GFIs in the kitchen. I mean, don't quote me on this, but I think a 4-year-old child could install GFIs correctly, right? If they have their electrician license. It's a joke, but as far as I'm concerned, a lot of this stuff can be fixed nice and cheaply and easy. So these are not unreasonable requests. You can either do them, or you can just give them a credit for them to have the repairs done by somebody else. So thank you guys for watching the video. I know it's a little long, man. I know it's long. I'm trying to make these fun. I think next week we'll have like funny stories or some kind of conspiracy theories in here. We'll try and mix it up. We'll also have guests on here. Like I said, I'm just a little under the weather, so I know it's boring. But I appreciate you guys all for watching. And as always, I hope this helps. Peace.